So she said to me, Craig, can you give me what I want? I don't know about you, but I feel so good. Girl, I can make you feel real.
What is up? I am Crypto Mason. I have just finished watching the Hedera Townhall, Community Town Hall. It was a live Q&A with the founders Mance and Lehman, which is Lehman Baird. I took some notes. It was probably 50 minutes, but I took some notes on what I heard, and I'm gonna play some clips from it right now, and then we'll get into the notes after. There's some crazy things in here. He dropped some bombs, but here are the clips right here.
Hasn't
All right,
budged.
so we're in the
It's been fixed, and
Hedera
that's by design.
Zoom meeting right now. Look at this.
Of transactions.
This is the Hedera token service Zoom meeting,
and it doesn't matter what
I'm
the price
taking
of the
notes.
token is. It's it's going to fluctuate. It's going to go up and down. But anybody
taking
building
notes.
on the platform that needs to plan for the future, what their understand what their future costs are going to be when they make API calls, they don't have to worry about that. And what actually happens behind the scenes is that there is an SDK that developers can use as part of building their applications. And when they want to make API calls, it will tell them how many HBAR is required for a given API call. And I think it's about once every hour. Lehman, you can correct me, but I think it's about once every hour. The number of HBARs required for a given
He's going to lead us to Mars and Saturn.
Is adjusted based on the current average price of HBARs in the market. So, we understood from the very beginning that was a problem that had to be resolved.
This guy's the
And
co-founder.
So it was built in, the solution I described is built in from day one.
Man, he didn't even talk about price, really.
Right.
I wanted him to talk more in depth about price. That's what she asked.
Lehman.
Okay, here's Lehman.
Can
Watch.
Hedera be used as a lightning network for Bitcoin to increase the speed of transactions on the Bitcoin network itself?
Oh, this is an interesting question right here.
Yeah,
Stacks.
this is a cool concept. So Lightning is cool on top of Bitcoin. Things like Plasma are cool on top of Ethereum. There's lots of L2 solutions that are cool. In some cases, they're making up because the underlying ledger is pretty slow. But
he's about to flex his stuff right here.
L2s for various things. And an L2 is a computer or a set of computers that have to be doing some things. There's some communication involved. There may be some agreement involved. You could even imagine L2 systems that involve multi-signatures going on. There's all sorts of interesting things you can do in an L2 kind of network. Not real gold.
Bro, this guy's got physical HBAR. Look at this.
$3,000 gold coin or a $7,000
I'm still watching. I've been taking notes.
Platinum coin or whatever. But this is real metal. And I just enjoyed this for the last few years, having this coin. You can see that the HBAR symbol is actually a hole in the coin. So you can see through the coin. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. You can see the serial number.
Bro, look at this guy.
You can't read it. It says 001. So I even stamped a serial number on this. And I think what we're going to do is we'll release this where if you want to buy a coin through Shapeways, you can get your own metal
I'm
coin.
going to buy one, bro.
Maybe
metal
we'll release
coin?
the STL files. You can print it yourself. I don't know. But for this particular coin, the one that I printed that I had created in 2018 and I have had since then, I'm going to give this one away. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to make a certificate of authenticity. It is serial numbered. I stamped a serial number on it today with a hammer and a stamp set.
Damn, they're really launching this?
We're going to tokenize it. So there will be a token in our HTS system for this coin, and we will auction it off and give the money to charity. And we have a charity in Dallas that helps single mothers that are homeless. And so homelessness is a huge problem. I fear it may grow. And in the recent cold, it's an even really worse problem. Guys, on 8
He just called it a cold? Did he call it a cold?
Really, really cold. And if you're homeless, that is cold.
Oh, no, he called the weather cold. I thought he called the
wind chill. And that's Fahrenheit.
The row cold.
In a normal civilized system, I don't know what it is Celsius, but it's cold, even in a normal civilized system of measurement. But in Fahrenheit, it was -20 wind chill. Anyway, it got cold here. Homelessness is a huge problem. So we're going to auction this off and we'll give the money to this service to homeless single mothers in Dallas. But you can see the coin. It's kind of cool. It's kind of, can you hear it? Kind of cool. They're kind of heavy. I like it. It's kind of thick and heavy. Has a hole in it. So tokenization for the win.
Okay, now we are going to get into these notes right here. the first thing, this is the Hedera Hashgraph Community Town Hall. Now, I'm just going to run through these. I'm just going to run through these little bullet points. Some of them I don't understand because I'm kind of like not an extreme coder or like developer for blockchain. But they said thousands of token transfers per second. You can transfer tokens. This is the Hedera token service. You can transfer tokens from one person to another with any type of token. Smart contracts in any language you want, which I'm assuming that means like coding language. By the way, I am not technically advanced on any of this. Like I don't actually make the tech of any blockchain, and you guys probably don't either. So I'm gonna keep this to the like a dummy level, like Hedera for dummies, because I just listened to that and I probably understood like 70%, but there's a big gap that I didn't understand. They mentioned the price of HBAR as it rises. How will it affect? And they kind of dodged the question. They were kind of dodging all the questions about the actual HBAR token, which I didn't like because I want to hear about how high it's going to go. He was then asked about Bitcoin, and he said Lightning is cool, Plasma is cool, and then proceeded to flex Hedera's network, which is how he should. That's expected. He says, we are committed to not printing more HBAR. That's good. I didn't know this. HBAR can actually divide into 100 million pieces, which I think XRP can as well. XRP divisible. Let's see. 1 XRP, David Schwartz, quote right here. 1 XRP is divisible into 1 million drops. Okay, Hedera is infinitely divisible. Infinitely divisible. That, for me, that makes it makes sense if you want to have it at a high price. Then he said dragonglass.me. So I have not checked this out, but let's go on dragonglass.me and let's see. Apparently we can look at the tokens issued on Hedera. Yeah, right here. Wow. So these are some of the top Hedera tokens right here. Jam, OXE. Are these actually on? Are they actually on there? I don't even know. But these are some of the tokens issued, I guess. Hedera network. Wow. Okay. That's pretty dope. Quantum computing. He was then asked about quantum computing. This is something I've been looking into as well right now because, man, I think Bitcoin. Elon Musk was tweeting about quantum. He said dojo for Doge, and if you know what dojo is, that is the quantum computer by Tesla. So quantum computing is not a threat to crypto. That was his initial statement, and he still agrees with that. And he says it's cool, continues to make progress. It is possible that quantum computers can break crypto in the next 10 years. The kinds of crypto we currently do. He said he flexed that HBAR is 384 and the others are like 256 or something. They will just switch the ledgers to one that are quantum proof. And then he made the argument that the US government uses stuff that can be cracked by quantum computers. And they store info. They plan to store confidential info for 30 years on these systems that can be cracked by quantum computers. They will switch to post-quantum algorithms, and we will eventually have a list of what the world's top cryptographers think are secure for quantum. He said there are enough people working on quantum computers in public that we will know years in advance if it can break crypto. That's very interesting. Quantum computing is the only threat to Bitcoin, apparently. How it could just take it down. So I have some weird, interesting theories that are coming up. I've been looking into quantum computing, and you may see a video on that very soon. So he said we will know years in advance if that's possible. I don't know about that, but so also people have been concerned with the governing council. Like, can't they just change stuff on their own with no, like, it's kind of like they run the whole thing? And then the answer was, when people think of the council, they think of it as a single monolithic entity. The council is simply just a group working together to make it better. And then, quote right here, Mance Harmon, the CEO co-founder, he said, words matter. He said, words matter. He said that. So now I know 100% that my HBAR decoded video, they're paying attention to what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Exactly. They're conscious of it. Because he literally said, he made a point to say words matter. What else? So it doesn't really work if everybody who owns a US dollar has a say in the decisions made for that currency. So he said, the governing council is just a community of organizations that figure out the best decisions to make. That's the governing council of Hedera with all the Google and all of them. And he said, is the use of this community that govern us worse than a dozen core developers on other platforms? Meaning, like, any other coin just has like 12 developers or something behind it, and they make the decisions. Why is that worse than 30 huge companies making the decisions, and they have their whole teams? And then they talked about carbon neutral, which we want. And he said, we are not having a very big carbon footprint. And look at this. To run a Hedera node, it's 375 watts, not proof of work. This is Bitcoin. 120 terawatt hours a year. And then he made a point to say, HBAR is not high carbon footprint. Also, this is a direct quote, that they are looking at this like they're building an operating system. Very interesting. So, and then he was asked about a Hedera alternative to Facebook. He said that that would be a great thing to build on the with the consensus service. You could build a new Twitter. And he said, Hedera will not be a social service with censorship. It provides consensus service that you can create companies on top of Hedera. Then he flexed the 10,000 transactions per second. They're looking for 2 decades of growth. So the Hedera equivalent of ERC20, this is the Ethereum tokens. ERC20 is the Ethereum tokens, which their equivalent is the Hedera token service. And then he was asked if Google and enterprises will buy HBAR. And he says they buy HBAR the same way as other people, and it is infinitely divisible. So of course he didn't say yeah. He didn't say yeah, Google's gonna buy soon. Then he left a link for this. I have a quote right here. We are trying to have a 100-year company. He mentioned DeFi projects building out type of infrastructure to move tokens from one platform to another. This sounds like Flare Finance, if anybody knows that. Then he was asked if Hedera could enable a stock market. And he said you would build this on the HTS, which is Hedera Token Service. And a stock market would work like you give the stock and you get the money within 3 seconds, instantly. XRP speed type stuff, like I said right here. Like, it's as fast as XRP, faster. It cannot be shut down. And then right at the end, he mentioned that maybe you can run a node on the Elon Musk satellite, like the Starlink, but it was framed as a joke. And then he showed his little physical HBAR. You already saw the clip of that. But that is like the wrap up of the notes I took. Some dope information in there, really dope information. I'm looking forward to what HBAR is doing. But if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching until the end. You must be a fan of HBAR if you did. I love you all, and goodbye.
So she said to me, quick, can you give me what I want? I don't know about you, but I feel so good. Girl, I can make you feel real. Soy para brillar, oh, para win,